good to me. You're begging me not to leave, and I refuse to let you go.
Just to love you, girl. Love you, girl.
Keefe D's bail was denied today as the DA and judge questioned Wack's motive. Check out the video as Wack's DJ Vlad interview is played along with jail recordings with Keefe D. At the end of the video, check out Wack's reaction on Clubhouse to his day in court at the hearing. Make sure you like and subscribe.
Now, so are there any stipulations that you have with Mr. Davis in order to put up this money for?
Well, my stipulation with the bail bond, and I definitely wanted him to be on house arrest to protect myself.
Now, have you ever said you were thinking about getting Mr. Davis out with the stipulation that you do a series with him?
Now this is where Wack was put in the ultimate trick bag, double tied in an army knot.
We've had talks and conversations just about what would be a series, as the BMF series, and just in question, in general conversation, talking about his life story. But I'm not in TV land, I'm in music. I don't do TV.
Okay.
I've never done a television show or any of that. I do music streaming, diapers, stuff like that.
Okay, so I just want to be very clear about this. Have you ever stated that you planned on getting Mr. Davis out as long as he did a stipulation with you to do a television series with you?
Oh, I have said this story would be a very interesting story. As if Orlando Anderson's story would be a very interesting story. As if the BMS story, as if my story. We talk about it, everybody talks about it, but again, that's not my lane. If that's what he chooses to do, then that's what he chooses to do. That's not what I do.
And you had mentioned earlier, you had agreed with me earlier that the last four digits of your phone number were 6979, correct?
6979, yes.
And you've had at least one conversation with Mr. Davis via jail calls, is that correct?
One call, yes. I spoke with him one time.
And as part of that time, you asked Mr. Davis whether or not he had signed the contract, is that right?
Yes, I did.
What contract was that?
His life rights contract. Somebody told me he had did a life rights deal, and I was asking them why didn't they come assist him.
And so you didn't ask him to send you his waiver of his life rights to you, have you?
No, I mean, at the end of the day, again, that's not
Prosecutors
my lane.
next played Wack's recent interview with Vlad, where he talks about stipulations of bailing Keefe D out of jail, with Wack being able to create a series on the life of Keefe D and his time with Tupac in return.
His lawyer did an interview recently and said, Keefe D is a liar. He made up all this stuff just to make some money from people like, me for interviews and to get out of a serious drug case. He was never in Las Vegas. All this is fake. And he's not connected to Tupac's murder at all.
Yeah, I believe him. You believe him?
Do I believe him? That's up to law enforcement. That's I'm not gonna say. That's up to law enforcement.
Be home in the next 5 days. About going better now.
You gonna bail out Keefe D?
Yeah, it's only 75.
Well, cause it's $1 billion.
Well, I make 750.
750, so you got to put 75.
Yeah, I've been thinking about going to get him and put the stipulations that I do.
Yes, Your Honor. I think what we've learned today is that Mr. Jones is not credible when he says that he has no financial interest in Mr. Davis retelling the crimes that he committed upon his release. The statement that he provided to the court, that his attorney provided to me, that this is a gift, is clearly not true. I mean, it's just out and out false. The interview he gave on Vlad TV says, I expect some stipulations. I want to have a television series out of this. So Mr. Jones's response is actually kind of similar to Mr. Davis's response when it comes to this case. Don't believe the words that are coming out of my mouth. It's just entertainment. It becomes even more problematic, though, when he has that same conversation with Mr. Davis on jail. Literally nobody to perform for. He's literally saying, hey, did you sign the contract? And this notion that this is some kind of hope after trial is belied by the actual jail call. What the jail call actually says is, Mr. Jones says, we need to get some episodes in before you go to trial. We need to get 10 episodes done before you go to trial. And let's be honest, the only reason why Mr. Davis is of note at all is because of his self-proclaimed role in the murder of Tupac Shakur. That is his notoriety. And Your Honor, I think the other thing that we can drop a couple other things from the prison visit, which is either A, jail visit. Either A, he's telling the truth and Mr. Jones is a front, or B, he's lying and he admitted he would say anything to include lie in order to get out of custody. Lastly, Your Honor, I was, the one advantage of having cameras in this case is that I'm able to review this court's rulings before coming to court. And
You can always review them.
Yes, that's fair.
We always have, yes. I'm not hiding them.
Yeah, no, but I get it in HD. And so what I heard this court say is that this court wanted a detention order. And this court specifically was concerned about the defendant's repeated insistence that he committed these crimes. And that this court found that while his criminal past may be somewhat removed, concerns still arose, including the FBI having to move a witness, about Mr. Davis's future safety, which is the reason why the court set the bail at $750,000. So let's just assume, A, it's a gift. That doesn't allay the court's concerns. How could found money without any consequence of losing it affect Mr. Davis at all? If he's being told by some benefactor, just for out of goodwill, I'm letting you out, go out, there's no consequence to Mr. Davis. It doesn't have the prescribed deterrence that this court's detention order had. Let's say, which I think the evidence clearly leads to, that this is him getting paid from his retelling of his criminal past. Well, pursuant to NRS 441B200, a killer cannot profit from their crimes. And what is even worse about this particular instance is that there'd be no way for the estate to recover these funds. Because Mr. Davis is getting a benefit from having retelling his story of killing Mr. Shakur. As a result, Mr. Jones, in order to benefit from that, is paying the bail bond company $112,000, right? The purpose of the statute in the statutory scheme in NRS 41B is that an estate should be able to recover the proceeds of somebody who is benefiting from the telling of their crime. Okay, there's no way for the estate to recover these funds. They're going straight from Mr. Jones to the court. Lastly, I think what is abundantly clear from this thing, even though it's convoluted, is that a fraud is being perpetrated on us, one way or the other. I think the court had an opportunity to question Mr. Jones, see what he said on Vlad TV, see what he said on jail call, see what Mr. Davis said in the privacy of that jail call. I don't think this court can have any faith that this surety, the source of this surety, is legal, in the sense that it is for the benefits, the illegal benefits of profiting from his or her crime. And then, two, I don't think this court can even have any faith as to what this actual nature of this is.
After this hearing, I'm left with more questions than answers. Ultimately, there's a question that was raised regarding where the funds actually came from by Mr. Davis himself. I don't have the bank records or anything to show that it was posted by a different source besides the word of Mr. Jones, who's contradicted by his own previous statements on other matters. Ultimately, I do see there was collateral posted, but I don't really see where the actual $112,500 came from with what's been provided for me. I also don't find that the defense has met the burden of any sort of burden, or a nebula type hearing to show that the bail is not connected to Mr. Davis ultimately talking about Mr. Shakur's murder. And any evidence to the contrary, it is not credible. And so at this point, I don't find that you have met your burden. And so if you want, you can present additional evidence at some point if you want to have a further hearing, or I can void the bail, and so that would go back to Mr. Jones. So.
Character and bank statements.
I don't have them.
The bail department is here. He's on the Zoom. I have to give up 6 months of bank statements.
We did send those over to the court, Your Honor. You didn't have them.
Showing you what I have.
That's going to show you And whatever you told his wife, it was definitely exaggerated.
Mr. Jones, hold on.
I also turned in one of my properties.
Mr. Jones, hold on. We also sent the,
Did you have an
bank
additional?
records.
Okay,
Sorry.
okay.
You guys have
Do you have bank records?
Yes, Mr. Arnold provided like 6 months of Bank of America records.
Okay.
Your Honor, I'm the bail agent. On this matter, I could testify if necessary on regards to the source of the funds.
All right, I'll review the bank records additionally, and then ultimately issue a minute order regarding the bank records if that satisfies my first concern. I don't know that it will necessarily satisfy my second concern, but I'll address it all in the minute order, okay? All
I
right.
gave you 6 months bank statements and property. What you mean you don't know where the money came from? They asked the DA. The DA said, they said, you got that? The DA said, oh yeah, we got it. So why you ain't telling them where the money come from?
You think it's because it's
That
you?
totally debunks what Keefe D had to see. That supports what Keefe D was telling his wife, right? So I just talked to the son. I said, hey bro, I don't know Keefe D wife. Why she don't like me, bro? What happened? And guess what I just figured out?
What?
She's related to the victim of Chicken Mike.
Damn, small
And
ass
they
world.
all think that I paid for his attorney. And this nigga had a public defender. I told him I can't support him with the attorney. I told him that.
Wait, what
I
happened with
said,
Chicken Mike? Who is that, bro?
oh, that's one of my homeboys. He go Google Michael Parks Pacoima.
Hold on,
You'll see one of the
Michael Parks. All right.
Pacoima. You'll see one of the most horrific murders. Crazy.
Yeah, sound good to me.